Highway 427 in Rathburn. I'm old enough that I remember when by the Claireville Conservation Area and this dam was but a one-lane bridge, and now as people travel up and down Highway 427, because of the devotion that is in your heart and in your soul, now they see one of the great landmarks that helps to put Toronto on the map around the world. Congratulations and thank you for what you have done. I must want to let you know that I heard just now that in September, so many of you will be participating in a walkathon that will lend financial resources to Toronto's Sick Children's Hospital. And this touches me, and I congratulate you for it. Yes, indeed. This touches me very deeply in many ways. First and foremost, I think it stands as a very, very important observation of the values which inform this wonderful temple and this community. But I want you to know as well, not just because I was the health minister in the province of Ontario, but when I was a little itty-bitty baby, before I celebrated my very first birthday, I spent 4 consecutive months in Sick Children's Hospital. And I have come to know many, many children who have enjoyed some of the best health care that can be found anywhere in the world for children at Sick Children's Hospital. And I congratulate you for the devotion that is in your heart for this place, which can offer hope to families in their most pressing time of need. Congratulations and thank you for what you are doing. It seems to me that this really is at the heart of community and of the devotion that you offer, not just here, but to the broader community. And this is at the heart of what makes Toronto and Ontario and Canada such an extraordinary place. You know, I'm running to be the mayor of Toronto, and I don't want to be too political today, but I want you to be very political on October the 25th. And one of the things that I want you to keep in mind is that for those of us that are privileged to live in Toronto, and I know some of you live across the border in Mississauga and maybe even Brampton, and some from Vaughan and Richmond Hill and Markham, and that's okay too, but mostly we are proud that this BAPS temple is here in the city of Toronto, a source of strength and pride, a reflection of the values of diversity. And I feel that it is our responsibility for those of us, especially in politics, who so often use the word diversity, to make sure that we are not just using the word, but we are living out the responsibility that goes with being the most diverse city to be found anywhere on the face of this great world. And part of that means that we must at all times look to learn as much as we possibly can about other cultures and about other religions. And on this point, I wish to thank you. I am the son of parents, my father a truck driver who is now deceased, and my mother a woman who now in her late 70s, who has never for one day stopped on the lifelong quest of learning. And one of the most extraordinary learnings that she has had in the last year or so, and one that I must tell you she will not stop talking about, is the learnings that she gained from the devotion that you as a community express, not just in the creation of this beautiful work of art, but in the museum that it houses. My mother has come and she has seen and she has learned, and on her behalf, I say thank you for doing your part to make sure that our Toronto, a city that has the motto, diversity our strength, lives up to that by making sure that everybody has the opportunity in the most impressive of surroundings to learn about your faith and to learn about your history. I want to thank you for that very much. And I want to ask of you just one thing. Please just keep doing what you're doing. The expression of love that you have, the devotion that you show, is at the heart of the strength of our city of Toronto. But there is one thing that we must always keep in mind. In a city as big as Toronto, with 2.5 million people, we can see being created here and there new temples and places of worship, and we can see being created here and there new progress. But we must be careful and make sure that in our hearts and in our eyes that we look to see in our midst those people who are not experiencing all of the prosperity that we might wish for ourselves and for our families. And I know that too, this is an important part of the teachings that are offered and of the efforts that you make. And I just want to say that I think that this is at the heart of what makes Canada such a great country. Built on the premise of compassion, on this idea that we should never be so self-satisfied, but that we should always be self-aware, and that we should be conscious of our responsibilities to our fellow human beings. I know these are not teachings that one politician talks about and owns. I know these are the teachings that come from the devoted followers of Swaminarayan. But I just wish to say that it is very, very critical that in a city like Toronto, that we always be mindful that there is more to do. Yes, I want to be the mayor of Toronto. I have had privileged responsibilities as a member of Premier McGuinty's government. And you know, when Premier McGuinty came here to participate in the grand opening for months and months and months afterward, with a sense of pride that you could hear from one's voice, he talked about that experience. But I have decided to seek this responsibility to be the mayor of Toronto because I worry that my Toronto is not fulfilling its full potential. And that in our midst, amongst the 2.5 million people, are too many of our fellow human beings who need just a little extra help. And I am one of those that believes that government must be always also playing a role, working with communities to do its part, to strengthen and to reach out and to lend a hand to those who are in need of such offerings. These, I think, are consistent with the values of the devotees of this place, and I hope that they can continue to be the values that are an essential part of making Toronto such a great city. The very last thing that I will say, I say in all due deference to my friend, this young man in the front row, Kapil. Now, Kapil is well known to you as a fellow devotee, but to me, he is known as a devotee to my campaign. And from time to time, he even sneaks away to come and help and do the important things that are here. On my last visit here, Swami presented to me a very beautiful painting of the temple next door, of the Mandir next door. And I want you to know that on those days when I am in my office, hanging above the desk in my office is this beautiful painting. When we get into the vehicle that we sometimes share, very often are tapes that are part of the inspiration that comes for Kapil from this very community. And on those occasions, because we share a laptop, when I turn on the laptop for the first time each day, I notice that the first thing that pops up is the homepage of this very place. So I want you to know that even if I'm in the distant parts of Toronto, if I'm over in the Rouge Valley, or if I'm in downtown Toronto, or if I'm at the North York Civic Centre, or down on Etobicoke's Lakeshore, if I'm in the car, if I'm on the computer, if I'm near my office, please know that each of you, and the love and the values that you express through your efforts every single day, they are very near and dear to me. And over many years now, you have made efforts that have made me feel so very welcome here. I thank you again for the privilege of being here today with all of you, and with blessings and a little bit of support on October 25th. I hope to return and be with you for walkathons and other events where I might actually have the privilege of wearing the chains of office as Mayor of Toronto, so that we can build a Toronto that does an even better job of taking care of all of our people. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much to Mr. Smitherman for those wonderful words about the Mandir, about the community. Mr. Smitherman is receiving blessings from Shri Swami, and we hope that you are very, very successful in your campaign, and that you come back to visit us again in the future, carrying the office of the Mayor of Toronto.